Money has a secret superpower, one that can quietly turn small savings into millions. It's called compound interest, and if you're not taking advantage of it, you're leaving serious wealth on the table. Albert Einstein reportedly called it the eighth wonder of the world, and once you see the math behind it, you'll understand why. Imagine planting a tiny seed that slowly grows into a massive tree, not because you keep watering it, but because it starts creating more trees on its own. That's compound interest in action. It's your money making more money without you lifting a finger. Whether you're planning for retirement, building generational wealth, or just trying to maximize your financial future, understanding how to optimize compound interest is the key to long-term financial success. Let's break down the science behind it and the best ways to make it work for you. Understanding compound interest versus simple interest. Before we talk about optimizing compound interest, let's clarify how it differs from simple interest. Simple interest is straightforward. You earn interest on your initial investment only. If you invest $10,000 at a 5% annual simple interest rate, you'll get $500 per year, every year, forever. After 10 years, you'll have $15,000. Your initial $10,000 plus $5,000 in interest. Sounds decent, right? But let's compare that to compound interest. Instead of only earning interest on your original deposit, compound interest allows you to earn interest on both the initial deposit and the accumulated interest. If that same $10,000 was earning 5% compound interest annually, after 10 years, it wouldn't just be $15,000. It would grow to $16,288 with no extra effort from you. Over 40 years, that $10,000 would become over $70,400. That's the magic of compounding. It grows exponentially, not linearly. Why starting early is the ultimate growth hack. The single most important factor in making compound interest work for you is time. The longer your money stays invested, the more time it has to snowball. Let's look at two investors. Emily starts investing at 20, putting away $200 per month for just 10 years and then stops. Mike starts investing at 30, also putting away $200 per month, but continues for 35 years. Who ends up with more money at 65? Surprisingly, Emily ends up with more money than Mike, even though she only invested for 10 years. That's because the first 10 years of compounding are more valuable than any later investments. This proves that starting early is more important than investing large amounts. Even a small amount invested early can grow into a fortune. The power of compound frequency. More is better. Most people don't realize that the frequency of compounding makes a big difference. Interest can be compounded annually, quarterly, monthly, or even daily. The more frequently interest is added to your principal, the faster your money grows. Let's say you invest $10,000 at 8% interest for 20 years. If it compounds annually, you'd end up with about $46,610. But if it compounds daily, that number jumps to $49,268. That's an extra $2,600 plus just from a higher compounding frequency. When choosing investment accounts or savings options, always check the compounding frequency. Daily or monthly is far better than annual. Choosing high-return investments for maximum growth. Not all investments offer the same level of compound growth. A basic savings account might give you a 1 to 2% annual return, but that won't build wealth quickly. Investing in high-growth assets like stocks, index funds, real estate, and high-yield bonds can generate 7 to 12% returns or more. For example, the S&P 500 has historically averaged about 10% annual returns. If you invest $10,000 in an index fund tracking the S&P 500 and leave it for 40 years, that investment could grow to over $450,000 without adding a single extra dollar. That's the power of compound growth. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to multiply. Diversification also plays a key role. Spreading your investments across different assets reduces risk while maintaining strong returns. The key is to invest consistently in high-return assets and let time do the heavy lifting. High-growth investments accelerate compounding, leading to significantly greater financial results over time. The snowball effect of reinvesting dividends. If you're investing in stocks, ETFs, or mutual funds that pay dividends, reinvesting those dividends can significantly boost your returns. Instead of taking dividends as cash, you buy more shares, which then generate more dividends, leading to exponential growth. This creates a positive feedback loop where your portfolio keeps expanding over time. For example, a $100,000 investment in dividend stocks with a 4% annual yield could grow to over $600,000 in 30 years if dividends are reinvested. If you take the dividends as cash instead, the final amount would be significantly lower. Many brokerage accounts offer automatic dividend reinvestment plans, which take the dividends you earn and immediately use them to purchase additional shares. This strategy accelerates compound growth, especially when paired with high-yield dividend stocks. The key takeaway: reinvesting dividends leads to faster compounding and ensures that your wealth grows exponentially over time without additional contributions. Avoiding high fees that eat into compound growth. Many investors don't realize how much fees impact their long-term gains. Investment fees, like mutual fund expense ratios, trading commissions, and advisory fees, can drastically reduce compound growth. For example, a 1.5% annual fee on a $500,000 portfolio might not seem like much, but over 30 years, that's over $400,000 lost to fees. To maximize compound growth, choose low-cost index funds and ETFs instead of actively managed funds with high fees. Taking advantage of tax-advantaged accounts. Taxes can slow down your compound interest gains, so using tax-advantaged accounts like a 401k, IRA, or Roth IRA can supercharge your growth. In a traditional IRA or 401k, your investments grow tax-free until retirement, meaning more compounding power. A Roth IRA is even better. Your money grows tax-free forever. If you're serious about maximizing compound interest, tax-advantaged accounts are a must-use tool. The power of patience. Letting compound interest work, it's magic. The final and most important step in optimizing compound interest: patience. Many investors make the mistake of pulling their money out too early, missing out on long-term gains. Compounding is a long-term game. The first few years may seem slow, but by year 20, 30, or 40, the growth becomes explosive. Warren Buffett made over 90% of his wealth after age 60, not because he invested more later, but because he let compound interest work for decades. The key is to start early, stay invested, and avoid panic selling during market downturns. Even if you begin with a small investment, the longer it stays invested, the bigger the final outcome. Time is the secret ingredient that turns small investments into massive fortunes. The earlier you start and the longer you hold, the more you benefit from compounding. The biggest mistake? Giving up too soon. The best strategy: stay patient and let your wealth grow naturally over time. Compound interest is your secret weapon. Compound interest is one of the most powerful financial tools ever discovered. It's how small investments turn into millions over time. The key takeaways: start investing as soon as possible. Time is your best friend. Choose high-growth investments like stocks, index funds, and real estate. Reinvest dividends to accelerate compounding. Use tax-advantaged accounts to protect your gains. Be patient. Long-term investors always win. If you start today, your future self will thank you in ways you can't even imagine. So, are you ready to make compound interest work for you?